Well, this is officially episode 2 of album artwork series. But first, I kind of want to talk about Reverence.
All right.
A little bit. Because I'm conflicted.
As I thought you might be at this point.
Very conflicted. And here's something... Alright. I'm very conflicted. Because...
Did you listen to it like multiple times all the way through?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like it. Like, what you said, you said it's not really clean vocals, but it's not the full-on growl either.
Yeah.
Which is accurate. And there are some parts that I would say straight up do have clean vocals, though.
Yeah.
But, like, the in-between, man, there's just, okay, I'm sorry. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I'm just kind of, like, getting everything in order in my head to go over. Okay, so I kind of want to start first, like, the music itself is very different from anything else they've ever sounded like. It's, like, more, I don't want to say groovy, but it kind of is. I guess that's a pretty good way to describe it. It's more groovy, and it's way less just, like, hammer down crunchy. There's definitely less breakdowns, way less.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing, because that's kind of like what makes them so intense to me.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of, I hear things in the music itself that remind me of like early 2000s, almost new metal a little. I have no idea if they're influenced by these bands at all, but if they are, their possible influences of something like maybe a Linkin Park comes through a little bit in some of the guitar riffs. I don't know, and maybe it's just the way the record was produced and the way the guitar sounds is just similar to that sound, so maybe it has nothing to do with it, but I kind of heard a little like early 2000s rock metal kind of sound coming through a little bit.
It's big metalcore influence for sure, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, weren't they originally metalcore? Like, before this album?
iTunes
classified this album as punk.
Well, I don't know if
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I don't know if there's well, yeah, I guess there is a metal section, but, like, it's usually, like, pop punk or like
there's
rock
even a
or something
death
like
metal.
that. Oh, is there?
Yeah.
I haven't been on iTunes in a while, so I don't remember really. But I can see that. The problem that I have with it is a lot of times with their first few, there wasn't really those filler songs that they had. And I felt like with this one, there was like one or two songs that were kind of like, not necessarily interludes, but they were...
But they might have been.
Yeah.
With what you said.
Yeah. I don't know, I just kind of got that vibe from it.
Well, you said that you felt like the album, it should, you said that when you listen to it from top to bottom, it works. Those songs work and make sense, but they don't work just standing on their own. As
a whole, I'd say that it really ties the whole thing together, because and I haven't really sat down and looked at any like the lyrics or anything like that, so I don't know if there is a story behind it, because it feels like there still is.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was gonna say. It does feel a little concept-y.
Yeah. Especially once you get to the end of it.
Yeah.
Like that last song.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah, when I got to that song, I remembered what you had said about it, about how it seemed like it was like ending of a story, not like ending of an album.
It's kind of the same thing with when I was listening to the Dimmu album earlier, which is...
Yeah, we'll get on that in a second.
But it felt... I don't know, I've really taken that into consideration more as I'm listening to newer stuff as like one solid song or like album instead of separate stuff, and I feel like that helps me sort of understand where they're going. Just gets me into it more.
Me too. It's not actually doing this, but it almost kind of feels as if it's getting you more in the creator's headspace. It's like stepping back and looking at it as a whole instead of a whole bunch of individual pieces.
That's the one thing that's really hard to do, is because nobody really sits down and listens to an album anymore. And
it's rare.
I feel like there's a lot of, if more people kind of took the time to listen to things as a whole, as one solid piece instead of just like singles or songs and stuff. But at the same time, nobody's really writing full albums anymore.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah. Top to bottom, story-driven concepts.
No, that's rare.
Yeah.
At best.
Because I've heard, a bunch of different bands talk about it, and it's more just people that just don't have the attention spans for it, really. I mean, it's hard to... A lot of times I don't really, unless I'm like doing something, and that helps to,
Yeah, I guess.
Yes and no. There are times when, especially when newer things come out, I'm more prone to.
It's just, if I feel like if I were ever writing something like a song and releasing it, or an album, I'm not going to. I'm not taking into consideration the attention span of my audience. I'm just writing an album.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of, I don't know. But I also kind of feel like there's still a lot of it in metal in particular.
Yeah.
I mean, when you got the most recent Iron Maiden album, it's 90 minutes long. We talked about that before.
Yeah.
So there's something.
That's true. I'm not saying it doesn't ever happen. I'm just saying it's rare that.
It is rarer today, for sure. Also, though, this is kind of our first real review of something new.
Yeah.
We don't really have a rating system. And I'm a little hesitant because I know that, like, there's, Brave Words, Metal Injection, Metal Sucks, Blabbermouth, and some of those even have podcasts. So I'm sure all of them have rating systems, and I don't want to, like, accidentally copy, but I genuinely don't know what any of their rating systems are.
I know at least with the banger reviews, they have different categories and things that they talk about, or, like, sections and stuff.
Well, no, like, what do they...
What are they?
At the end, do they give it 5 stars? What do they give it?
Oh, I think it's just stars.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody's using horns?
Maybe they do, I think.
They might use
Yeah,
horns.
seems like somebody does, yeah.
Of course. Banger TV.
Yeah.
Grabs the good one.
It would be.
Alright, what's just another... They got the horns. Damn it. That's the best one.
Yeah.
We don't really have, like, another thing like that. It's as universal, at least. Pentagrams?
Either that or like skulls.
Skulls.
But at the same time,
somebody might have used that.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
For now, I'm going to go with pentagrams.
Okay. That's fair, considering the album we're about to talk about.
Right? Well, Reverence.
Oh, okay.
Just because I don't want to talk about Parkway artwork. I don't know if we'll do them, honestly. They don't have, like, I do like some of their covers, but they're not, like, what I'm going for in this series, really.
Yeah.
Reverence, though, I'd say, and considering I would give See, do we want to do out of 5 or 10?
So like 5.
Probably. 5 for now?
Yeah.
Alright. Then in that case, I'd give Deep Blue, Atlas, and Horizons probably all 5 stars. Just to, give some context. This one, I'm conflicted on because kind of like my initial reaction, just like everybody else, when someone that doesn't do clean vocals starts doing clean vocals, my gut reaction is to give it a negative fucking star. But, like, I like it. Some of the songs are good. And so here's the thing, though. What it really comes down to, let's be realistic, is the drive test. That's
very valid.
Like, I can sit down and listen to an entire album top to bottom on my computer or TV or speakers or whatever, and in your room or at work or on your headphones, and when you get it in the car and turn it all the way up, especially if you have a system, you hear things you're not hearing on those other things. Literally, it sounds different. So that's the ultimate test. But part of that test is that it has to be loud. Okay?
Yeah.
And one of my personal grading systems for that test is...
I think I know what you're going to say, because I do the same thing.
Is, at any point in this album, do I have to turn it down for a second? Is there any part of any song where I'm like, if anybody hears this, I don't want them to hear me listen to this?
Yeah.
And there is one song on the album where, like, it kicks in. Don't get me wrong, like, the second half of the song is sick. But, like, the first half of the song, I have to turn that down. So, for that, I'd give it a 3-star.
Yeah. That's what
I'd give it a solid 3.
I was thinking either like 3 or 4.
I don't think it's anywhere near their best work. They're definitely going down a different path. Normally, in situations like this, I'd hate it, but I don't know. I'm open to it, and it's working, so I'll continue listening to the album.
Before we saw them, I'd have probably given it like 2.
Honestly, yeah.
That's
huge. That's a huge part of it. After we saw them and saw how good they are live,
yeah.
It is kind of a different... I am glad I saw them before I heard the album.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I heard it a little bit, but it wasn't in depth.
Yeah, I heard the singles on a laptop.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it in my car,
Right.
So, yeah. Solid 3 stars.
The void that main riff gets stuck in my head all the time.
It is good. I like it.
It's just a catchy album. I think
it is very catchy.
You know,
and I don't think there's anything. I like catchy songs. Like, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, and that's the point.
I was listening to a fucking song off Skeletal Domain earlier by Cannibal Corpse, and I was like, not banging my head, but kind of bobbing it. Like, I was like, this is catchy. Yeah. That's Cannibal Corpse.
There's so many. Just that whole album is full of stuff that, like, same sort of thing.
Just good. Yeah. Just top to bottom, brilliant. But okay, so let's get into the album artwork. Last week we said we would do Lamb of God. You had found something on their artwork, and Dimmu Borgir, because they just came out with Eonian. I said we were going to do a third one, but we're going to save that third one for next time, and we're just going to do these two this time around. So Dimmu they've worked with multiple artists throughout their career.
Pretty interested to hear about this, because I don't really know, because they're one of those bands that you see their artwork and you know it's one of their records, or, you know, it's pretty distinguishable.
It does stand out, that's for sure. And some of it, you know, there's one in particular, Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia. That cover is, you know, that's one of the, when controversial album covers get brought up, that one is often listed.
For good reason. If you've seen it,
it's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Now, they have released 10 studio albums. 10 studio albums. Like I said, they've worked with a lot of artists.
Well, I will say, while you're trying to find that, one of the things I like about them is that with each album, they do a different attire that goes with the album.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to me, because not a lot of bands do that. I mean, there are a lot that do it, but they're, you know...
They take it to a level.
Yeah.
They're very theatric.
Yeah.
So cool.
I mean, I guess that's one of the things that you could also say that kind of puts them in, like, a weird... Not necessarily... I mean, they sort of talked about it on the Metal Evolution, but about it's almost like a fashion statement, kind of, instead of a band, and I guess they kind of get pigeonholed into that sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is fair, because there's a lot of, like, corpse paint and feathers and, you know, different stuff like that, but it's not like it's anything new. It's not like they were the first band to do it.
Oh, no.
They just happen to be
one of the
bigger, especially black metal bands, too, because that's something that before them, well, I don't know, I guess to lump them in with Cradle of Filth, I'd say, around that same time, because they were one of the other bands that kind of gets brought up a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
In the same vein, I guess.
I'm gonna be honest. Dimmu is a band I've always liked, but never. I mean, pretty much up till recently, the only album I had by them was Death Cult Armageddon. That's a great album. Always loved it, but I never really went much deeper than that, so I'm not too familiar with anything before Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia.
Okay.
So I guess pretty much the artists that I have stuff on at the moment, at least, are just from there on, and there's pretty much just been two guys. So the really big controversial one from them, the Puritanical one, is, I always apologize to people for fucking their names up, especially Vince Locke, because I said his name wrong for like a whole episode. This one's going to be real bad, because this is a Norwegian name. First name's Alf, that's easy. Last name is B and then O with a line through it, Rjesson. It's probably pronounced Bjorgensen,
that's
I would imagine.
Thinking. Yeah.
So, Alf Bjorgensen. He has worked, it looks like he's done covers for Dimmu and another band called Borknagar, Borknagar.
Yeah, they're another black metal band.
He did, he did photography for them for an album called Empiricism. But for Dimmu, he did Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia. He did the video for World Misanthropy. He did the cover for Death Cult Armageddon. He did the photography for Vredsbeard single. And he did the backside artwork for Stormblast. So he did the two, because Death Cult's the one I owned, and Puritanical's probably their most famous cover that I mean, it's the one that I see most when referencing them, so.
Yeah, kind of looking at it, I think, because a lot of their earlier stuff is really gritty black metal, and I'm thinking they either took different artists from the area, which is kind of what it looks like, or as every early, especially with like, maybe not Stormblast, because Stormblast looks kind of...
Oh, he passed away.
Oh, man. When?
I don't know. I just found an article on Brave Words. Oh, from August 25th, 2012.
Oh.
He was a photographer and graphic artist from Oslo. Well, I don't know if he's from Oslo, but he was Oslo-based.
It's also kind of hard when you talk about black metal bands, because, like I was saying, a lot of them, it's that stereotypical, let's go out in the woods and take a black and white picture of some trees and call it even.
Yeah.
Like, which is what I feel like kind of what they did on their first one, because it looks like a castle with a...
Kinda,
dude,
yeah.
you know.
That is kind of exactly what that is. But he didn't do that one.
No, I don't know who did that one.
Really good artist. I'm not... That's the albums he's worked on. I'm not sure if he has any other, like, kind of work out there or anything. I'm sure he does, but I honestly, when you Google his name, you don't... Pretty much all you find is Dimmu stuff. Alf Jorgensen, rest in peace. Did a fucking iconic-ass cover. I love that cover. I'm gonna buy that album just for that cover.
Which one was that?
Puritanical.
Oh.
Yeah. Next, though...
I didn't know that they put out a live album with the Norwegian Radio Orchestra and Choir. Damn.
Next, though, is...
That sounds massive.
Yeah.
I'll check that out.
Okay. I'm really gonna fuck this name up. God. I'm just gonna spell it. It's Joachim, first name. Last name Luetke. I don't know how they want that pronounced.
Let me see it.
Joachim Lutke. Yeah.
Sure.
Let's refer to him as Mr. J.
Okay.
For now. Mr. J. He has done a lot of artwork for a lot of bands, including, and this, I'm getting this actually from metalarchives.com, just throw that out there.
Shout out.
He did Once Upon a Time in Europa for AK-11. Once Upon a Time in Europa is the name of the album. AK-11's the band. He did Annihilator's Carnival Diablos. He did Belfegor's album artwork for Blut, B-L-U-T Sabbath, Blut Sabbath, and Blood Magic Necromance, and it looks like a compilation album called The Last Supper / Blut Sabbath. He did covers for Blind Petition, Classica, Destruction, God Dethroned, Headhunter, Creator. He did Enemy of the God and Hordes of Chaos for Creator.
Oh, okay.
Mekong Delta, Meshuggah.
Alright.
Obzin.
Yeah.
He did a cover for Non-Existence, cover for Pain, Protector, Pyraconda, Rage, Ravenous, Scanner. These are all band names. Sirenia, Sirenia, Sirenia. Speed Limit, The Covenant with a K, and Wolfheart featuring the Malavatia Antisocial Club. Malatvia Antisocial Club. Also, specifically, so that's the whole list of bands he's done stuff for. I haven't heard of any of them that I just listed besides Meshuggah. Ones that are important to us, me personally at least. Doomsday Machine for Arch Enemy, and his Dimmu Borgir run. He did the EP Alive in Torment. He did cover art concept for World Misanthropy video. So he actually worked then with Alf Jorgensen. That's cool. It says he did Death Cult too. So yeah, they worked together a bit. And Stormblast. He also... Oh wow. So they were working together on those big ones, except for the first one. That's cool. He did In Sorte Diablo, which is one of your favorite ones. Your favorite?
Yeah, I would say.
Did you know it's a concept album?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah. I mean, I would imagine all their albums really, like we were saying, just run like a movie. Mm-hmm. It's pretty crazy. So I would imagine probably most of their albums are concept records in one way or another.
According to Wikipedia, that one was their first concept album.
Huh, alright.
I don't know if Wikipedia is right or not, but that's what it said. He also did Abracadabra, that cover.
Yeah.
And I just realized, I thought Eonian was on the list, but I guess not. So let's find out who did Eonian. And we'll go into, if you want to start talking about that, we'll go into our review of that right now, because
alright.
Holy sweet flying fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, basically, there wasn't really ever a time when I was listening to it that it felt like, other than the songs being at least 5 to 7 minutes, majority of them.
They are long songs.
It's like the whole album, I think, is like an hour at least.
But that's pretty common for them, isn't it? Like that's
they do.
They don't have a lot of like 2.5 minute, 3 minute long songs.
Yeah, but in that space though, with this one, and I think I compared it to the Satanist from Behemoth.
Okay, yeah.
Because at that time, that was a really different sounding album for them because they kind of dialed it back, but it made it more of like an organic sounding album, but it was still really heavy for them. I think with this one, just the overall vibe of it is just, I mean, as dark as it should be for them, but I felt like top to bottom, there wasn't ever a song that I felt was out of place or like I wanted to skip at any point, because the whole thing, like, and it had a lot of movements to it. Like each song really, I didn't really know where a lot of it was going, and a lot of times it ended up going in a total different direction than what I thought it was going, but it was in a way that was more atmospheric than anything. There was a lot of the super choir big orchestra parts in this one especially were more so like the center focus than the actual standard like band, I guess. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was cool. And I'll definitely say that towards the middle of the album, it really picked up for me. I think it took a let's see, so we'll say around Lightbringer.
Yeah.
From that point on, the whole vibe of it just got like, I mean, it doesn't really start off super light.
No.
But there's
no slow songs.
Right. And the second and fourth song are the two singles that they put out for it. Mm-hmm. And those were, I don't know, I'd say probably two of the lighter songs, if you could call it that. But as far as everything else, like, dude, second half of that album is, like, I listened to it twice in one go of it, because there was so much that, I don't know, the whole feeling of it. And
that's definitely another factor. Shit, what did you just say?
What? The second half of the album is better?
No.
Or not better,
but... No, before that. No, a big factor that I felt was, it's like, if you go back and listen to early Children of Bodom, the keyboard sounds, those big sounds kind of are like a lead instrument.
Yeah.
They're right there next to the guitars.
Yeah.
In their later albums, they've been using it more as a percussion instrument next to the drums, and letting the drums out a little bit more along with a little bit more guitar.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of almost a more organic way to put together the songs. I kind of like it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I kind of feel, even though I'm not as familiar with Dimmu and their old stuff, I feel like I'm hearing that a little bit on this album, is that the symphonics and the big choir sounds are just organically woven in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that was what I thought.
It's just, it fits. It's in place. It fits. There was maybe one time on the first time I listened to the album that I was like, maybe this part's going on for a little bit too long. But
yeah,
then you get to the rest of it happens to you, and then
like it all makes sense where it's heading.
This is very much, an album is a piece of music. It's not a collection of singles. Or, I mean, I guess it can be either. It just depends on who you're talking about. And Dimmu is a piece of music from top to bottom. There, like you said, there are movements in the songs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what you said. That was it. A big thing for me when I'm listening to new music is I don't like it when I know what's coming next.
That was the other thing I thought when I was...
Dimmu kept surprising me.
Yeah.
I already brought it up, but I've been listening to a lot of Skeletal Domain lately because I just got it. Keeps surprising me. I did even get that a little bit on Reverence. A little bit. Not as much. Yeah. But there were some songs where I was like, I do wonder where this is going right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? I want to keep listening to find out. But Dimmu especially, I had no idea. It was like... Yeah. And it kept you interested the whole time. And when I was driving around with it, my system didn't get loud enough. I wanted it to go louder and louder. I want it to be all enveloping.
There were two things I picked up on this more so the second time than the first time around. Was first off, the unveiling. Easily one of the coolest opening songs, opening riffs. Yep. Like with that bend that kind of happens with the guitar part, and just like the effect that they have behind it. Just, I don't know. It's sick. I had to go back and listen to that. I think I'd probably listen to that song more than more than most of them, because like we were listening to it on the way to Parkway and stuff. But with I don't know, with a lot of black metal bands, to me it's about how fast it is and like it's just a big wall of sound and like just blast beats straight through. But this one, like I said, it felt like they kind of pulled back on it, but where they pulled back on like the blast beats and the craziness, they filled with the orchestra and just the overall building of the vibe of the the song, where it was headed and stuff. So it didn't ever feel like it was overly chaotic at any point.
It didn't feel overly chaotic, and it didn't feel like there was too much orchestra either.
Yeah, which was the one thing, like, hearing the singles didn't really...
It's like I said,
represent
this
it.
isn't a single album. You
Yeah.
can't. It's so hard to do that with metal. Yeah, sure, like, a band can make an album and then you can turn a song into a single, like something like an Hourglass by Lamb of God or something like that, but it's not a single. Like, it was a single after the album came out, probably.
Yeah.
And maybe they released it before the album came out, like most bands do or whatever. But metal's not a singles environment. We're not here for singles.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in buying an album on an awesome cover art than a single.
Yeah. I was really surprised by it.
I loved it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm gonna keep with it because, and I'm gonna go back and dig into some of their older stuff. I'm gonna get the one that you like, Sorte Diablo, and the that other one with the crazy name, Puritanical, whatever. Misanthropy. I
will say when I think of black metal, I think of two various styles of it. I think of, well, I guess, I don't know. I'd say there's always a part of me that will enjoy the early Dark Funeral, Dissection specifically. Dissection was one of those bands that really got me into black metal as far as in a more traditional sense. They're early, I don't remember where they're out of. They only put out like three or four studio albums, but the Somberlane and Storm of the Light's Bane are two of probably the most raw sounding black metal albums I can think of that are like just traditional, what you'd think of. It's to the point where, like you said, the songs are like you remember them because of the riffs and the guitar parts and stuff. So there's that side of black metal, and then I found that I've really been into Where Shadows Forever Reign from Dark Funeral, their most recent one. But they're one of those bands, along with like Belphegor, I'd say, that are kind of in the same category of that like gigantic wall of sound. When you think black metal, you think like straight blast beats and, like I said, basically wall of sound. And then there's the other side of it, the more like symphonic side of it, Dimmu and bands like that. And then more so recently, there's a lot of bands that combine the two sounds. Two of the bands that come to mind are Flesh God from Italy, because they do a lot of
I really need to listen to them.
Agony, that album.
That album?
Yes.
All right.
It's one of the, well, Agony and Oracles are the two. They're two of their earlier ones. I guess those are more of, again, that wall of sound kind of idea. Like the whole thing is very blast beat driven, but they do a lot of like string arrangements, and it wasn't really more so until Labyrinth and King that they started to take more of a symphonic element to it and really do the kind of like how Dimmu does it.
Okay.
But not so much like the operatic style vocal that's behind it like on their new one. It's more of just like a second instrument that kind of builds the atmosphere for it. And then Septic Flesh are really, really good too.
Oh, yeah.
But they're Polish though, and I don't know, they kind of do that same storytelling thing. There's a lot of really good storytelling black metal bands.
So I've seen Flesh God, but I've never listened to them on an album.
They're one of those bands that, well, for one, there's something about Italy, and like apparently, I guess like Alex is telling me that the show that they had there wasn't too great.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, which surprised me because I thought
wasn't it Death Fest?
It might have been.
Yeah, I was like,
it was either because I think it was after that show.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm not sure about like timeline
went
stuff.
To one of my bucket list fucking shows.
Yeah,
and or is that in Italy or is that France?
I'm not sure. I think it's both. I think they both have something similar. But yeah, Codex Omega and The Communion.
Real quick, once again, if you're not already, check out Alexander the Wraith on Instagram.
Yes.
Lead singer of Bog Wraith, but currently the touring lead singer of Wormhole, touring Europe with Volvodania. Check them out, definitely. I'm loving his posts every day. Like, I'm excited to see his shit every day lately because he's posted some cool shit.
Just the culture and stuff. Like,
and not only that, but you being able to experience different cultures via heavy metal concerts.
Oh, yeah.
Is exactly what I want to do. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, not only am I experiencing the culture, but I'm actually here with people I might be able to relate to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, these are the people in the culture that are like me. But, go on. You're about to say something about another symphonic black metal band?
Oh, I was just talking about Septic Flesh.
Oh, yeah, Septic Flesh.
So, yeah, their Codex Omega is their new one that's I've been listening to quite frequently, and then Communion is another one. It came out 2008. They're different, though, in the sense that they're one of those bands and Flesh God did this with King, I think. I want to say it was either King or Labyrinth, but they put out full orchestra versions of their albums, like with just the orchestra stuff. They're way more on the symphonic side. Like, they do have their heavier moments and stuff, and I think their more recent album is a lot more driven as far as the actual band stuff goes and like how the whole thing moves. I don't know, they just have that atmosphere about them that like it's not all just straight about blast beats and, you know, the straight stuff for...
I don't like this super, like when blast beats is all you're using, I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
There's not enough like rhythm to it for me. I need a little bit. Because my neck doesn't move that fast. So it doesn't work for me. Yeah.
To me, it's...
Only the corpse grinder's neck can move that fast.
Yeah, and that makes... Yeah, I don't know how you can do that for 20 years or whatever it is. Yeah, I think there's a time and a place for it.
I do too. I like it, but like in recommended dosages.
Yeah, there's definitely times where, you know what, sometimes that's all I want to hear. And I will say that with Agony, that's one of the things that you kind of got to get past, even though the drums on it are so fast. Like, that was one of the first albums that kind of really got me in, like, well, for one, it was like, well, I quit. Like, I don't know how you could do this. Like, it's insane. And it doesn't even sound real half the time. But I guess the other thing, well, I don't know if it actually, well, we'll be seeing them live, so yeah, I'll tell you. But with Flesh God, their first two albums, they had or maybe it was just their first album. Their drummer, or the guitar player from the first album from Oracles did vocals and guitars on Oracles, and then after Oracles, going into Agony, he changed to drums, and from on Agony and Labyrinth, he's on drums, and then recently, up until King, he does drums for that, but recently, which made me really excited because I kind of favored more of their earlier stuff when he was doing vocals and their guitar stuff, because recently, I don't know if he left the band or what happened, but they made the switch again, and now he's back on vocals. I think they're re-recording something or writing a new album, which makes me really excited because like, that was one of my favorite albums because it was, I don't know, it kind of goes in vein with the way that Black Dahlia changed how I thought about death metal. It got me into death metal. Like, Flesh got kind of into the more technical side of things. Mm-hmm. Kind of did that for me. So they were kind of, I guess, like the gateway band for me as far as like the super technical stuff, like the really fast. Plus, I don't know, I'm always a sucker for like the mix of the orchestra stuff and just, I don't know, how massive it makes everything. And that kind of got me into looking at how different parts of the world do heavy music, because it's really, it always surprises me.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
That there's like so much variety in it.
You can hear like cultural differences in, you know, something that you wouldn't think, you know, it's just the same everywhere. Like, it's just heavy music, but it's not. It's, you know.
Yeah, and you know what else, too, is something I've noticed is, like, I didn't even really think about it like this until just now, but bands that I like that come out of Michigan all have very similar sounds.
Yeah, it's that.
Battlecross and Dahlia and Bogwraith. Like, honestly, you guys kind of all three have that. It's not the same, but sort of similar.
There's a thrashy, like, melodic element to it.
It's like a thrashy, melodic chaos. when put together, for some reason it makes sense. Because there's so many change-ups, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to this extreme, but when you listen to a band like Whitechapel, you could, like, cut one of their songs up into almost, like, 4 different mini-songs, you know?
Yeah.
Not to that extreme, but sort of like that sort of the same thing. Real quick, I did want to mention the cover artist of Eonian.
Oh, alright.
I found it. It's not online. I had to go to the actual album. And it's another name I'm never going to be able to say. But I'm going to try. Zbigniew Bilak. It's my best guess. It's ZB. Come on. ZBIGNIEWBIELAK. Zbigniew Bilak.
I bet you there's some silent letters in there.
Probably. Anyway, he's done artwork for a fuck ton of bands. I'm just going to list them as fast as I can. These are just the band names. I will say the specific albums of bands that we like. And if there's one that you know that I might not say it. First band's Absu, ABSU. He's also done work with Acephalix, 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 Azrath, Behemoth. He did the cover for The Satanist. Demonomancy. Destroyer 666. He did a bunch of stuff for it. Dimmu Borgir. He did Eonian. Enslaved. Entombed AD. Execration.
Which Entombed albums did he do? Does it say?
What does it say? What'd you say? Entombed.
Yeah.
Entombed AD. He did Back to the Front. He also did stuff with Furbowl. Seriously, FURBOWL. Furbowl. Ghost. Do you know Ghost?
Ghost, like Scooby-Doo chase music. Ghost.
GHOST is the name of the band. Gorguts, Grave Desecrator. Awesome name.
Desecrator.
Grave Desecrator.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's...
Immolation, Lantern, Mayhem. Ooh, Mayhem. He did Esoteric Warfare. Nocturnus, Obtained Enslavement, Paradise Lost, Portal, Vader, Vomiter. I love it. Watain, ZHRINE. What? Sarine? What is that? And then Zom, ZOM. He did album work. But he did, so he's done a fuck ton of shit, which is badass. But he did, he did a cover for Behemoth and a cover for Dimmu. Badass. No idea how to say his goddamn name. So, and here's a nice little shitty segue into our next band's artwork that we're looking into. Have you heard the Metal Sucks podcast at all?
Yeah, I think I've listened to it.
One of the most recent episodes was with one of the guys from Dimmu.
Yeah. We were talking about that.
Really good episode. And the newest episode is with Mark Morton.
Oh.
Talking about Legion XX.
Damn.
And and he even talked a little bit about working with Dez on the Country Heroes Outlaws album.
That came out today, didn't it?
Burn the Priest did.
Yeah.
Legion XX did, yeah.
Wow.
My copy comes in the mail tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I pre-ordered that shit.
I forgot about that.
You gotta go get that.
I do.
Go get it! You know what's crazy? I was at Myers the other night. If anybody's listening, I doubt they would be. But if anybody's listening to this outside of Michigan, just know that Walmart copied Myers. Myers was here first, and then Walmart happened to everybody else. And Myers is basically Walmart, but much better. And they used to have a big CD section. I used to buy a lot of CDs there.
Mm-hmm.
And, since then it's dwindled, and lately it's, been barely even 1 4-foot span of an aisle. I was there the other night, and I had to go to the back part anyway for something, so I was like, I wonder... Because there was some CD that I thought maybe, is so common they might have, and I wanted it. I don't remember what it was. But they now don't even have a section in the aisle. It's just an end cap. In the back of the store, it's a back end cap. You literally have to go as far back in the store as you can possibly go to find it.
Reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones. The very last scene where they're like, I don't remember which movie it is, but where they're walking back to because I don't know, you know what I'm talking about, with all the crates and stuff, and they're like,
But and so this is a place that the odds of finding a new metal album is 0. I haven't gone there to try to actually look for a CD in at least 6 years.
Last time I was there, I found a censored version of the first Slipknot album. I was like, who would buy this?
That's why it's sitting there. They had a copy of Reverence.
What?
I swear to God.
Walmart?
Myers.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, yeah.
Either way. Walmart
Surprising.
still actually has more CDs than Myers.
Yeah.
But, yeah. There was a fucking... the brand new Parkway Drive album was at Myers. In a time where they barely even sell CDs. So...
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be considered their breakthrough album. Damn. So I wanted to mention that. But anyway, Mark Morton, Lamb of God. That was a terrible segue.
Yeah, they kind of went off the rails, but yeah, I know.
Lamb of God, far and away, top 3 bands for me. I mean, it's like them and Iron Maiden are like my top 2 that I can't really like ever really decide between.
No.
I mean, and I've told this story before. I think it's even on the last episode. The first time I ever heard Randy Blythe's voice, I thought it was 2. They had 2 singers.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was the last one or if it was one of the earlier ones, but I do remember talking about that.
It blew my mind the first time I heard his voice, and the fucking oh my God, this intense fucking beats, the fucking riffs that just sound like the machine guns, and then fucking shit like Omerta. Oh my God. Yeah, no, and so you hear it all, and then you see them live, and oh God.
Yeah.
It is one of the most intense pits I've ever been in has been at their shows. So
they were one of the first bands that when I like first got into trying to go to heavier shows and stuff, they were one of the bands that everybody that was old enough to in my area that was into it was like would talk about going to one of their shows, and it was like, man, like I gotta try to go to one of these. Yeah, like this sounds awesome.
It's a different level.
Yeah, like between that and Slipknot, really.
Yeah, probably. I've never seen Slipknot inside, so I can't give them the same judgment, but I would imagine it's very similar.
Like, not to get on them too much, but like I don't know, I was gonna talk about them anyway. But next time they come through, we gotta see them, because I was thinking about it last night. I've seen them twice, and neither time has been general admission on the floor. I've always seen them like up or in a seat. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
I thought you saw them general admission at the Palace.
Well, that was like way up, like nosebleeds. Oh. Yeah. So like it was cool though, because like for the first time seeing them, I got to see their whole stage show and everything. Yeah. So that in itself that's like Maiden-esque. Mm-hmm. Like they go full bore, everything, top to bottom. So if they do another Knotfest, I really want to try to go.
Oh man, that would be fun.
Yeah,
I would like to do that, because every one of my favorite bands would be there.
Yeah,
every single one. But anyway, God damn, I don't remember. Maybe it was on shit. I don't remember which one it was, but it was interview. Sam Dunn from Banger TV was interviewing Clown.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because I just watched. That was what I was like. Kind of what thought. Like,
was it the interview where you said all of our band members know that each night on stage you are risking serious injury or death? Yeah, that interview. Yeah, dude, that I was like, holy fuck! This is yes.
They're intense.
They're really intense.
More so, definitely their earlier shows, like way back when they were like still playing bars and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like they're full. I have a couple of different ones because they put out I think it was like a 20 year, like 10-year anniversary of the self-titled, which was their before. Well, I don't know. They put out one for that one and for Iowa, but for that one they have super raw footage of them just like straight jumping off balconies and like during their set, because like I mean there was 9 of them on stage, and like at a time, and 2 of them, like the electronic, like the sample guys or whatever, like half the time they were just kind of up there like hype man or whatever, or like on the 2 drum risers or something like that. So during that they were just they have full shots of Sid like hanging off the balcony and like jumping into it, and then just having like people carry him around and stuff, and like taking full, what do you want to call it, like hand, like rails from like staircases and like ripping it off and like throwing it in like crowds and stuff and
Jesus Christ.
like getting into fights and like with each other on stage and like
God.
starting fires and things. Like
that kind of sounds like early punk a little bit.
Yeah, same kind of
earliest kind of punk. Yeah. Is that kind of like intensity. People fight like the band members would hit audience members. And shit.
It's the reason I was gonna bring him up is because a lot of time, because I think it started off as Joey and Clown doing all the artwork stuff, like the concept stuff. Because I'm pretty sure Joey drew the nonogram, which is the star thing, and their S logo.
I was gonna say the S logo is pretty big.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like I don't think I would ever get a band tattoo.
But you get that.
But I've thought either that or the nonogram.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's kind of got that, really. But, I mean, it was a big part of my life. And so...
I'm not going to lie. If I would ever get some tattoos and I were to do that chain link thing I told you about with all the band names in each chain link, I would have a Children of Bodom chain link, but I would also have COBHC somewhere.
Oh, dude. Yeah. That's their thing. Like, any of those super, like... You know, people have been following him for...
Randy's got one.
Yeah.
Randy Blythe.
There was... I don't remember who it was with, but there was somebody else that was standing with him that had the same one, and they were both
they just posted it.
Yeah,
recently.
that was what I... Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember who it was either. But yeah. It's fucking sick.
Oh, but...
Hates Crow!
Yeah.
Children of Bodom. Hate Crow! Fucking love that. Hate Crew Death Rows. I am bummed they didn't play that at the most recent show.
Yeah.
I do look forward, because that's usually their closer.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that, because they in the Stockholm DVD, they slow it down and get everybody singing with Hate Crew. God. It's awesome. Can't wait till they come back. New album. Supposed to come out in October.
Yeah.
Woo!
They put out one every other year.
Damn close. They're about as consistent as Devil Driver and Black Dahlia.
Yeah.
Dahlia, I didn't know they were so...
Every other year, it seems like.
Consistent, yeah. Have you heard that new one?
What?
The Dahlia's new one?
Nightbringers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's different because they got a new guitar player who replaced Ryan Knight, who was their guitar player from the last... from Deflorate through up until the last one, Abysmal. Okay. And then the new guy that they have... I think his name is Brandon Ellis, I'm pretty sure. It's his first album with the band. His first album ever.
Oh, wow.
With anybody. But the thing about it is, and it is probably more so just because I'm so used to hearing, and I've actually kind of been back and forth, kind of arguing with myself about this, if I like it as much as the stuff with the other guy or not, because it's a really different style of writing.
Interesting.
And the whole thing is really only 9 songs, so it's a little bit short, but the first 6 or 7 songs are just back to back.
Hell yeah.
You know, I don't know, it's just super cool. And it kind of holds a special place for me because during that time, we were doing the recordings with Trevor and stuff, and
hell yeah.
I asked about it, not just about the title, not thinking that he was gonna say anything much about it or whatever, and he was like, yeah, and then showed us 2 or 3 of the songs before they were mixed or anything like that.
God.
So it was just I don't know, I just
oh my God.
Yeah,
that is so dope.
that was a cool thing. I didn't really expect that, so
that is so dope.
Yeah,
I mean, I was never crazy. I had a copy of Nocturnal since it came out.
Yeah, that
was really a big one back in the day. But I was never as crazy into buying their albums and stuff like that when they were back then. But holy fuck, I've seen them so many times, dude.
Yeah,
it's insane. Their show, there was a point in time I haven't seen them in a while. But when they were doing that really intense touring, they showed in the DVD Majesty, they were opening for every metal show that came through Michigan. So I saw them 20, 30 times, and fucking every time I was excited about it. They always fucking killed. They definitely fucking always hold a special place for me because of that. They were one of the first bands that I ever saw. They were in the top 5, probably fucking 10 first bands I ever saw. That's insane.
Oh, yeah, they're so they like the fan base that surrounds, because they have so the Blast Fiends page is like their fan page.
Okay.
And it's a Facebook page. It's the kind of thing where like it goes pretty deep as far as like the merch collecting and stuff. Like I'll see posts about shirts that came out like 10 years ago that are like faded and stuff, or like it's to the point where it's almost like you know how with Maiden, where they have so much merch and like so much other stuff out that like people like post their collections and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same thing.
Hell yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
I dig that.
And for whatever reason, I don't understand it. Maybe it's like boost sales or whatever, but it's the only time that I've ever seen a fan page buy multiple copies of the same album. There are people that have bought like 5 or 10 copies of each album.
What the fuck?
Just to have, and then they like, that's the kind of the other thing that like I don't really care for too much, is a lot of it is like stuff that people buy and then buy a ton of and then like sell it back for some reason. So it's kind of like that sort of thing, but like the collection aspect of it is real. Cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Oh yeah.
Like that's the kind of fan base that's really like diehard and like, you know, sticks around and stuff.
It's dude, just like Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
And what did both of those bands do?
Yeah.
Relentless touring in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like, relentless shows. No matter what. Everything we can get on, we're on it. That's fucking definitely a huge part of it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
There's straight videos from random bars in Ypsilanti from like 2003.
Yep.
Of their like first shows or like their first couple, and it's like that's the other thing that's really cool to see now. And like I found ones of Whitechapel. I think they were playing like a basement somewhere. It was like 2003.
Damn.
Where it was like you can't. It sounds like it was recorded on like a potato, because the whole thing just sounds terrible because it's so loud. But like I don't know, it's to measure it up to like what they've turned into is just awesome to see a lot of times.
Fucking sick. Hell yeah. So, you want to do the Lamb of God thing now?
Yeah, kind of. We're not a tangent.
No, it's good. We should do, if you want to add it on, we can, but we should definitely talk about Slipknot covers at some point.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to talk about there. Because you have to talk about the masks.
Yeah. Because
that has been part of some of their covers. Especially, what was it? All Hope Was Gone was all of them in masks on the cover. Which one was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, they've had a couple of them that are like that.
Okay.
But.
So yeah, we're going to have to, we'll do that in a different episode.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll lump it into the next one, but maybe we'll save it for the one after. Slipknot's on the list now.
Heavy symbolism.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Lamb of God.
Yes. So Ken Adams is the guy.
He's done all of it?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And
including Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Nice.
So all of and like he's got a pretty extensive.
Did he do Burn the Priest?
Yeah. I think that was the first thing that he did.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a deal when they made that, did they? Or did they? Did they release that on their own? I don't know.
They might have. I'm not sure.
I bet you they did. Because who the fuck's going to sign a band called Burn the Priest besides Metal Blade?
Yeah.
They weren't signed by Metal Blade.
Yeah. The other thing I found out, and like he's got his whole portfolio thing on here, and he's done all the stuff for the congregation. So like all the shirt designs and everything like that.
Wow.
But he's also done...
So he did this shirt I'm wearing right now? Might have,
I'm not sure about like every one of their shirt designs.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that.
This is like my favorite ever.
Yeah, it's sick.
It's like a Death Angel. It's from their most recent tour last year.
But everywhere, if you look on it, that little logo there is like on the corner, whatever you.
Okay.
And so if you see that, then that's kind of his little watermark. But he's
KSN.
Yeah.
A little KSN somewhere. I'll have to look for that because I've noticed that before.
Like anything from their shirt designs to this. Like a poster that was in
oh wow,
it was like Guitar World. I think it said it's done work for Hell Yeah, Band of Brothers, all of their. I think Willie's guitar, the new one. See if I can pull it up. Yeah, so he designed that.
Sick.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see it. So Willie Adler's ESP guitar. If you Google search Warbird Pro Model, check that out if you want to see this. That is fucking sick.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the thing on Philadelphia.
Yeah. I always really liked how he did like the thing with, you know, a lot of like the bone work and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if you call it that, but there's a lot of stuff like bones and just different stuff like that. It always looks kind of cool. One
thing I did forget to mention real quick from the Dimmu guy is Mr. J. I didn't know that was that guy. Yeah, we didn't know how to pronounce his name. His artwork has been compared to G.G. Geiger.
I could see that.
Yeah, the guy that did the cover of Doomsday Machine.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I could see that.
But anyway, more about Lamb of God. What's this guy's name again? Sorry.
Ken Adams.
Ken Adams.
Born in northern Delaware. Biggest influences on art are 50s and 60s rubber monster movies, The Simpsons, Pushhead, Salvador Dali, Dr. Seuss, Derek Riggs, Iron Maiden cover artist.
Derek Riggs!
So, Tim Burton, National Geographic, I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. Skateboard art of the 80s, Jim Henson, Dark Crystal, George Lucas, the first 3 Star Wars movies. It looks like you can buy some of his work and stuff. The Millennium Falcon. The other thing I wanted to, because we're on the topic of Lamb of God, is Chris Adler thing, the art exhibit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really know much about it because I saw
it either.
And apparently there's a lot of other artists and stuff that have added to it that are in bands and so.
Neat.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know.
Chris Adler has an art show coming out.
Yeah.
The drummer from Lamb of God. That's all I really know. He made some posts about it on Instagram and Facebook.
Pretty vague.
That's pretty cool that all of Lamb of God stuff is done by one guy.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, you can kind of tell because it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's one of the other.
It's all similar.
Yeah.
Wow. So that means, but there is one that stands out though, is Sacrament. Pretty different.
Yeah.
From the rest.
Huh. I wonder if. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did that one. It's kind of interesting because the cover of Resolution is really different from like Ashes or even Palaces and stuff, and it kind of as much of a showcase of a point in time for the band as it was. I think it's more of kind of showcasing like where his creative, you know, direction was at with everything.
Did he? So then he created the logo, the LOG logo, like on the cover of Wrath.
The crest thing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look that up. I'm pretty sure, though.
I love that logo.
Yeah. That's one of the other band tattoos I'd probably get.
Matt has that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And it's good, too. It's, really good. Whoever his tattoo guy is fantastic. He's got the part of the Rust in Peace cover on his arm.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sick. Looks spot on.
If you've seen the cover of the Black Crown from Suicide Silence, it's kind of the same.
Oh, yeah. He did that?
Yeah.
Cool. Quick note, people. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. You need to watch Centuries of Torment, the Cannibal Corpse documentary. I finally got my copy of it, and I watched the 3rd bonus disc that has like another 2.5 hours of content and a solid 20-30 minute segment on Vince Locke, and it goes over him talking about every single Cannibal Corpse cover, even the live cannibalism art, and yeah, just kind of up to Kill. Talks about it up to Kill, which kind of bums me out because I bought Skeletal Domain, not a single song I knew. No, I didn't know a single song. I bought it for the cover. I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. I'm doing it again. And what do you know? Just like Wretched Spawn, it's fucking amazing. I would like, it'd be cool to find it, because also Skeletal Domain is a huge step away from the normal stuff. So I'd like to know what was up with that? Like, where'd that come from? Because it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous cover.
It's more of a landscape than it is which I think it kind of threw me off at first when I first saw it when it first came out, because it wasn't like anything else that they put out.
Nothing else had been like that.
And also that was the first one because they did everything up to that. Well, from Kill to Torture was with Eric Rutan. It was produced by him, which is why, and I think the other one is with, I have to look it up, I don't know, it was with somebody else, but he's done Mark Lewis, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Who's done Crusade from Trivium, he did Resurrection, Last Kind Words, Nocturnal, so pretty much. Damn! Yeah, August Burns Red, This Is Exile, Ruination from Job for a Cowboy.
Wait, he did Nocturnal for Black Dahlia?
Yeah, and Deflorate. And it looks like, I'm pretty sure he's done most of it. He did Beast.
Oh.
War of Will. So yeah, pretty much.
That's the good
like,
new stuff.
Yeah, any of the like the big current. Looks like 2 or 3 different Double Driver albums. But you were asking about the crest on Wrath. Looks like he did that, designed that. And,
the guy that designed the album covers?
Yeah, did that, and Chris Adler snare drum, too.
Oh, wow.
So this guy, pretty much anything that they want.
Lamb of God's Vince Locke or Derek Riggs.
Yeah, to a point.
Yeah. Iron Maiden needs to bring back Derek Riggs.
Yeah.
So Derek Riggs leaves. Okay, he didn't leave. They started accepting contributions from other artists. And then a couple albums later, Bruce Dickinson leaves. And then ever since then, and even after Bruce came back, pretty much everything has been pretty concept-y.
Yeah.
They haven't released anything the first, 5 or 6 albums since then.
Yeah.
Maybe if they bring back Derek Riggs, we'll get a little more Gallo.
We'll get
It would be cool to see how he would design a cover now.
Yeah.
To see how it would look. I'd love that. I think they even mentioned that in that part of the Cannibal Corpse DVD. I think Corpse Grinder or somebody says yeah, he's like our Derek Riggs.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
To make that connection.
Yeah. I mean, he is sort of, actually having a character that you keep, but in a sense he does because he keeps doing the zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, that first zombie on Eaten Back to Life, you could argue, has popped up a couple more times.
Yeah. At this point, it's pretty iconic.
And it could, I mean, I don't know if it is or not. Probably isn't. But like Eddie, look at Eddie on Final Frontier and look at Eddie on Number of the Beast. He keeps changing. He's always changed with every album.
Yeah.
So you could argue that one from Eaten Back to Life is the same one on Vile. The guy holding the knife and the newest album, the red, black, whatever it's called.
It's their kind of character.
Yeah. Just changing for each album a little bit.
Yeah. I found, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, but it's like a special edition of Torture, and it's the little figure of the guy.
Oh, really?
It's on the cover. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, we were talking about Sacrament, and it's kind of cool. There's a sketch of early.
Oh wow, that's sick as fuck. So it is a drawing, then. It's not a picture like it looks.
I think it's all digitized and stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, it did look like a picture.
That's sick.
Yeah, I've never actually seen that before. That's cool. It's so bare to begin with.
So far, Slayer's worked with multiple bands or multiple cover artists, but we did find one guy that did kind of their most iconic ones. And then Iron Maiden's always been Derek Riggs, and then they started a couple other people have done stuff for him in more recent years since Fear the Dark. Fear the Dark was the first one that Derek Riggs didn't work on. Cannibal Corpse has always been with Vince Locke. Dimmu's worked with many different ones, but there's kind of been these two main guys that did their more iconic covers. And Lamb of God's always had one guy. So lots of them kind of just have, so far at least, so far on our list. We have 5 on our list now. So far, 3 of them, 3 out of the 5 so far have all been working with the same guy most of the time. At least, yeah, most of the time. I mean, let's be honest. When you think of an Iron Maiden cover, you don't think of anything after Fear the Dark.
Yeah.
Fear to the Dark's the only one that he didn't work on that is still really notable,
right,
in terms of a cover.
Yeah.
Save for the newest one, I do think the Book of Souls cover that's a great shot of Eddie.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. A representation of Eddie. But I wasn't a big fan of the Final Frontier look. I wasn't a big fan of I wasn't a big fan of the Matter of Life and Death look. But that's my favorite album that they've released since Bruce's came back, by far.
That's fair.
And Brave New World it was cool. That was a cool cover, but
yeah,
it's not what you think of when you think of an Iron fucking Maiden cover, so that's the point I'm making. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was it was like that.
He was in the clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, Final Frontier is kind of interesting. It's I don't know, the futuristic looking thing.
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he wasn't full-on alien. He was more cyborg somewhere back in time.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about this Legacy of the Beast tour.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
I'm wondering, because it's based off of the game, and we saw that pinball game in Grand Rapids, and it's just, celebration of all the different Eddies.
Yeah. Oh.
Come on, Derek Riggs.
Yo.
They got... Legacy of the Beast, and if it really is like just an Eddie celebration, then they gotta like release this on a live CD and let Derek do the cover of that or something. Like, Sam Dunn make a fucking movie along with it.
Yeah.
Give me the whole package. I'll pre-order that shit.
Pre-order it before I can even pre-order it.
Right?
Like,
I don't know if we talked about it on here at all, but I did see the Flight 666 documentary finally, and it was amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Really amazing. It really puts some shit into perspective when they are touring South America and they go to those places that A, they've never been, and B, no one has ever been.
Yeah, that's
like,
what's crazy to me.
Like, imagine, how old are you right now?
24.
24. Imagine being 24, loving this the way we do, and never having been to a concert.
No.
Like, it made me, like, feel bad. Like, not bad, but, like, lucky.
Oh, yeah.
It really, like, these people are brought to tears by just from Iron Maiden coming to their city. And, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I've seen them, like, 5 times.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me want to give these people a phone call and be like, you want to come up to the show? Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, God, it's such a powerful fucking thing.
That specifically has always kind of stuck with me about that movie specifically, because they show it in a way that, I mean, I don't know, it's like other bands have talked about it before, but it's never been like to the point where they show people like after the show is over, like I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
Because it sucks when it's over, but like to not know when that's ever gonna happen again.
Well, I also think it was just like for them at that, like there was, to me, when we go to these metal concerts, it's for me, it is a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Like, we joke about it, we're like, we're going to church. But there really is, like, truth in that. I only feel, when we go to the concerts, that's the only place we ever feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the only place we've ever found that can make us feel that way.
Yeah.
And fucking just imagine all that and then on top of that, on top of all the built up tension and stress of just living a fucking normal life and growing up to 24, imagine being in an impoverished fucking country where the government literally tries to stop you from listening to music and wearing the t-shirts you want to wear. They're actually like hurting people for it. Like we talked about your high school and how they just kind of like let you do things. And how cool that was, and how that was a good thing for them to do. We never really,
they're
so fucked up.
Places that have to go to great lengths to do things that we sometimes don't even really think about.
Yeah, we're taken for granted.
Yeah, not necessarily that, but just like things that we don't have to
think about,
risk our lives for.
Yeah, we're not worried about police stopping us for wearing an Iron Maiden t-shirt.
Yeah.
God. Or like, there was that one cool part though in that documentary where they talked to I don't know if he was a preacher or priest or something. I don't know if it was Chile or Argentina, one of those countries down there. I can't remember which one. He was a preacher that used Iron Maiden in his in his thing and had like over 170 tattoos.
Yeah, I forgot about that. His
entire body was covered in Eddie. From top to bottom. It was insane. It was insane. I was like, that is... And I'm sitting up here going, oh yeah, they're my favorite band. No, they are that guy's favorite band. They are not my favorite band. They're his favorite band. Holy shit.
You've earned that.
Yeah. Holy shit. Oh man. Yeah. Dude, like, there were parts in that where when the Ed Force One landed, the airport was surrounded by thousands of people banging on the glass to get in and see them. Yeah. They were like the Beatles coming here in the 60s. But this is Iron Maiden in 2015. I don't know, whenever the documentary was made. Recently. It's a recent one. Like, holy shit. And, dude, the part where, like, on that tour, they only had 2 shows in the United States. One of them in Los Angeles. Everyone was there. Tom Morello showed up. Scott Ian, Lars Ulrich, Kerry King, Dio walked in. Like, holy fuck, dude, all those guys still go to see Iron Maiden when they come to town.
Yeah.
Just like us.
That's, like, I would travel for that.
Dude,
to know.
I have. I've gone, that's the only time I've left the state for a concert was Iron Maiden. I went to Chicago.
Can't say I've done that before, but I would, definitely.
It's the only time I've ever done it and seen a concert outside of the state of Michigan. Yeah, and it was a great show. We fucking left our car in a McDonald's parking lot and we left the lights on, so when we got back, it was dead. So we were just stuck in Chicago. Not even Chicago. It was people in the area would know this, but it was at the Allstate Arena north of Chicago. It was like there's downtown Detroit and then there's like Lincoln Park. So that sort of thing, probably. So it wasn't actually in Chicago even. We were just like at a McDonald's somewhere. But yeah, that was because that was the second time we saw him. Because the first time was the Matter in Life and Death tour where we didn't we saw Matter in Life and Death, the whole album, and then a few of the older songs, but we didn't get to see the older songs until it was June. I think it was June 2008. It was right after Preston and I graduated. I think we graduated sometime in May, and then we saw Iron Maiden in June. On the so that was the Summer Back in Time tour. Yeah. And then I saw him on the Final Frontier tour, and and we saw him at the Palace again. I forgot about that. Yeah. Damn. Hell yeah.
I still remember that.
Yeah, that was a good show. That was they sounded amazing that night.
Yeah.
Like spot on.
I have to check, see, because I'm pretty sure I still have a bunch of video from that too.
I can't fucking wait
pictures
till they
and
come
stuff.
back. I'm getting on the main floor when they come back, no matter what.
Yeah. Now that I've seen it,
that's a show that I'll pay $100 for a ticket for in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. Fucking A. All right, this is a pretty good one. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
I'm good with it. So next time we'll be doing more album artwork stuff. I want to talk about. Am I fucking this up? Is it G.G. Geiger or is it H.R. Geiger?
H.R. Geiger.
H.R. Geiger.
Sure.
I think I said G.G. earlier. Fucking idiot.
G.J. Allen.
I don't know why I messed that up. But H.R. Geiger, we'll be talking about him because he has done some artwork for some metal bands. I only know of one, but that one is arguably one of that band's best albums. Some people, hardcore fans of Carcass early on, would probably say that Heartwork is when they like changed a lot, and it is.
Yeah, pretty drastic.
Yeah, pretty drastic. But I do love Heartwork.
Yeah.
So we're talking about that and more.
Got some shows coming up this week.
Yeah. Oh shit, we should talk about that. Oh my god. My god. Do we ever? Because I'm kind of like laser-eyed right now on Comic-Con.
Word.
Because I'm going to meet Neil Adams and I'm freaking out. But fucking Tuesday, Lansing, Michigan, Goat Whore.
Yup.
Yes. I'm so excited. Oh, it's going to be such a good show. I'm really pumped. And Recorruptor.
Yeah.
Recorruptor. It's going to be sick.
And
Tuesday at Max Bar, Lansing, Michigan. Be there if you're here or you suck. And then if I can rope you into it, at least on Friday, I'm still planning on going to Cannabis Corpse at Schmal's Bar down in D-Town, Detroit.
I'm going to try. I'd like to.
Get some tacos.
Yeah.
Watch some weed metal. It's just going to be fun. And it's the guys from Municipal Waste. They're great.
Yeah. Never seen them live or anything.
They're fucking fun as hell live.
Yeah.
Oh, man. They tear it up. Yeah. I saw them open for Lamb of God once at the Fillmore. Only time I've ever seen them, I think. But yeah, they were fun as hell. So yeah, we got some shows coming up. And next time we're going to be talking about more album artwork with H.R. Geiger and stuff he's done. And what's the band? Black Dahlia Murder. I want to do stuff on Black Dahlia Murder. And who knows? Maybe there's not a lot of info on one of those two, so we will put Slipknot in on that one or something. Who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got some things. Also, Marshland Studio. If you're a band in the Lansing area and would like to do some recording, hit up Marshland Studio, Facebook. It's done by Julian, the guitarist for Bog Wraith. Also, check out Bog Wraith's Patreon. Just started a Patreon.
Yes, I heard talk about that.
Get some shit together for touring. Some shows in the future.
Also, I said what it was last one, but Sunday... gonna be I've been trying to wrap up a drum playthrough for Omen. It's pretty cool stuff.
Fuck yeah.
So
You think you're gonna drop it on Sunday?
I'm
Is that what you're saying?
I'm really trying to. Because I started, I think Tuesday. I did a bunch of filming for it and stuff, and just like messing around with some different angles and stuff. It's
Nice.
still kind of like in the early stages, because like I'd like to eventually do one for every song off the album.
Yeah.
And some, like you're saying, some deep stuff off the first two. But as far as like the formula for it goes, I'm still trying to figure it out. So it might be a little rough, but it's something I've been trying to do for a while.
Hell yeah.
So
that potentially, look out for that, people. We'll share when you put it on Facebook. Lost in the Dark will share it.
yeah.
Share it on Instagram. Also, what is it? I think the post said if you donate like $5 to your Patreon, you get like the whole discography or some shit.
Oh yeah.
Whole discography. That means every song that they've ever made, people.
Well, hang on, let me fact check that real quick.
I don't remember if it was $5. It might have been more, but I know it was one of them.
Yes, okay, yeah. So our entire discography.
For $5?
Yeah.
Fuck
anyone who pledges $5. I mean, we have a whole bunch of other stuff on there that you can, like deals and things. I think like 30 gets you. You can look at it. Patreon, Bargraith MI.
Bargraith MI on Patreon.
Yeah.
Check that out for sure. Maybe I'll actually stop being lazy for once and put the link in the description.
Yeah, I kind of dropped the ball on the last one because we were talking about some stuff and.
But I didn't. Is Marshland's studio? Does that have a website or is it just a Facebook?
That's he's got both.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't find the website, so I thought it was just the Facebook for some reason.
The website is it should be on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And it talks about all the rates and everything that, you know, because it's a little more than just like audio stuff.
Yeah, I saw there's like mixing and all kinds of stuff he offers.
Reamping and pictures. He's doing a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, he's been posting some cool pictures the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Nice pictures of some bands and stuff.
If you get on
Marshland Studio on Facebook. Check it out. For sure.
Last thing, I don't know if we ever talked about it, but actually doing a promotion right now. Not necessarily like partnership, but I don't know what the word is for it. But basically with a bunch of, well, all the bands on Metal Fest.
Okay.
It is, voting ends on the 25th, but it's for one of the bands on Metal Fest to get a free song, full mixed, mastered, recorded at Marshlands.
Fuck yeah.
And I think, I don't know who the band is that's up right now. There's a couple of them. I think the second and third, whoever like the second or third band is, they get like 20% off their recordings there. So
even if you don't win, you still get a good deal.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome. Check that out on Facebook. And I saw that post. I went to Michigan Metal Fest Facebook. I didn't see that post there, but I saw it on Michigan Metal Fest 2018's Facebook.
I think it's on the event page. They shared it on the event page.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, cool stuff.
Cool stuff happening. Metal Fest is coming up.
Yeah.
It'll be here quicker than we know it.
Yep.
Excited.
So.
Hell yeah. All right. We're wrapping this one up, people. Hope you enjoyed. We will be back very soon. Like I said, next episode, another album artwork. But next episode, you guys will hear probably be me and Jordan talking about aliens.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, actually. We had a blast. So, we'll see y'all soon. And have a good one. You've been Lost in the Dark.